Hello everyone! Today I'll be working on a merino and angora scarf, woven into a subtle bisexual pride flag and showing a truly incredible red-tailed hawk encounter that I had in my backyard. I hope you enjoy. My name is Took. I'm a disabled genderqueer weaver who's had life take odd turns, but who knows that even tattered and worn yarn still has value, and that tired joints and health flares don't have to stop the journey. I weave exclusively with secondhand fibers, aided with adaptive warping, HR and OSHA cats, and a wonderful found family. Welcome to Hawksong Weaving, where all our paths are a little bit warped. Starting off with a bit of an explanation onto why I've developed this adapted warping method. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which has cascaded into postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So for time's sake, know that I have joints that don't work well, and if I shift positions too quickly, I get pre-syncope or pre-fainting symptoms. All of this comes with chronic pain, so for a lot of reasons, a traditional warping board doesn't work for me, along with being really expensive and taking up a lot of space in my small studio. So I use an accordion coat rack as my warping board. It's nice and neat, it contracts into a nice smaller space, and I can adjust it as I need to. And I don't need to be up and down and all around and having tachycardia, or racing heart, that stresses out my medical alert cat Penelope. I've sped this up, but the usual time for warping a project like this with this method is about 20 minutes. That is with years of practice and muscle memory development, though. It's entirely okay if it takes longer. Weaving is a marathon, not a sprint. This scarf was originally planned to be much wider, but I overestimated the amount of blue merino yarn that I had, so it shifted to a skinnier scarf. It's still going to be incredibly soft and absolutely gorgeous, merino warp on either side, and a center stripe of the purple angora. All of this yarn is from local thrift stores or donated to me from older fiber artists. With the warp thread sorted, I'm lifting up the loom to release the warping board from the loom, gathering the warp threads into one large bundle and using the back of my neck to drape them over and keep them tidy and out of the way, while I collapse the warping board and get it tucked out of the way until I'm at a full pause point where I can get it unclamped from my desk. I use terry cloth towels to cushion the warp threads. This helps prevent the finished weaving from being tighter at the ends and looser in the middle, creating a sort of sausage profile in the weaving. The way I warp has me cutting the warp loops at the end of winding the warp. This is what's easiest on my body. It won't work for everyone, but that's okay. This isn't a great angle, but I'm being careful to pay attention to how the warp threads are laying on the back bar of the loom, and the right hand thread goes through the smaller hole in the rigid heddle reed. It's not critical, and some minor mistakes aren't the end of the world, but it does make it easier to keep the tension of the warp threads even across the entire weaving. Again, I'm speeding this up, but the entire process took less than 10 minutes. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my work, some free ways to do that are to like, subscribe, or follow, and share. This applies to other small artists as well. It's a great way to let the social media algorithms know that this is content worth watching. If you'd like to support me financially, there's a Buy Me a Coffee linked below, which acts as sort of a tip jar. Also know that there are so many of you absolutely fantastic and wonderful subscribers, I've been able to link the online Hawksong Weaving shop, so feel free to check out the unique handwoven products. This next bit is absolutely a joke, but just in case, in this economy, I won't say no. For $1,000 a month, you can tell me that I'm not actually disabled, I'm just lazy, and to try whatever yoga, juice cleanse, snake oil nonsense fixed your cousin. Feel free to message me and I'll get you my payment deets. I take Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal for this nonsense. Attaching the warp to the bottom apron bar is pretty easy. I finger comb it, get it separated into bits about 4 to 5 warp threads wide, separate those bits into 2, and then do a half hitch tie to the apron bar. Then the same process with the terry cloth towel, just cushioning it on this end and helping it not sausage in the middle. Then the actual fun bit, the weaving! This was so satisfying to work. Just the angora is so soft, but it's not that type of soft that microfiber is where it catches on your calluses. It just glides through your fingers and oh, I loved working with this purple angora. I hope that I find more of it at the thrift stores in the future. It's so freaking soft. Just, good sensory all around. While taking a break from weaving, I was doing some household chores, including taking the trash out to the bins. On my way back into the porch, I realized that a red-tailed hawk had been 5 feet away from me on the ground, having just caught a rat. Once I got back to my porch, she, and I'm going with feminine pronouns based on the size, as female birds of prey are larger, flew with it to the front of my old Hyundai Elantra and perched. After that, she flew to the old bird feeder and just, wow. Penelope Calico was quite miffed that I was out on the porch with a large bird in the yard. She's a medical alert cat, not trained, but she knows that my heart racing like that is absolutely not a good thing for even my pots. But dang, what an absolutely incredible encounter. Needless to say, I was quite energized after that encounter, and I just tore through the rest of the scarf and all that weaving. Towards the end of this project, I wanted to do a bit of plaid and more of the bi-colors, but again, I was out of the proper blue merino yarn. So I fudged the colors a bit and used a more teal blue. This way, if the customer who buys this isn't in a safe situation, they can point to the wrong color as an excuse and keep themselves safe. Now tying off the scarf fringes, I prefer to do 2x2 warps tied to a fringe of 4, but will do a double sliding knot of 3 if I don't have a wide enough warp. Same thing on the other end after unraveling it, and just tying off, tying off, tying off. I steam block my wool blend scarves. This helps the wool fibers to soften into each other and relax into the weave. Without blocking, you can get wrinkles because the weave tends to be stiff without the added heat and water. And also in the case of this scarf, the merino on either side for the blue and the purple was a lot less tension, or had a lot less tension than the purple angora. So I wanted to make sure that it was a bit more even and not like frilly fringy on the sides. Don't know exactly how to describe it. Once the steam blocking is finished, I eyeball the length of the fringe that I want and use the "don't ask me how much I spent on these good shears" and trim it. The final step is between half an hour and 45 minutes of tying the fringe knots. As I was filming the final reveal, Belith the Bold made herself known. But thank you for coming along as I wove a scarf from different thrift store and donated yarns and had an incredible hawk encounter. I'm so glad for the odd turn that your path took that brought you here. Thank you for spending time with me at Hawksong Weaving, where we're all a bit warped. And I hope that you have a truly excellent week. And don't worry, Belith got scritches after she made her demands known.